This is the equivalent of buying a used car where the last owner gave you $50,000 to never drive it again, and somehow you say, looks reliable to me. The invest to win plan. Virginia Tech just bought a lemon named James Franklin. Virginia Tech really woke up this morning, looked at the state of college football, looked at the transfer portal chaos, NIL wars, and billion-dollar coaches flying around like Pokemon, and said, you know what we need? James Franklin. Brother, what? You just watched Penn State pay this man 50+ million just to leave the premises, and your first thought is, let's make him our problem. This isn't invest to win. This is invest to waste, invest to struggle, invest to finish 7-5 with a smiling coach who says we're close. Virginia Tech boosters out here writing checks like they found a scratch-off ticket behind a Waffle House. James Franklin is the most expensive warning label in college football. Let's be honest, James Franklin is a walking billboard for buyer's remorse. Penn State said, thank you for your service, but please go away. Here's $50 million. Don't call us, don't text us, don't even think about us. That's separation with benefits money. Most people get fired and receive a box and a parking voucher. James Franklin got a severance package that could buy a small nation, and Virginia Tech said, sign me up. This is the equivalent of buying a used car where the last owner gave you $50,000 to never drive it again, and somehow you say, looks reliable to me. The invest to win plan, or as fans call it, lighting tuition money on fire. Virginia Tech didn't stop at hiring a coach who literally got fired for underperforming with blue blood resources. Oh no, they also announced $229 million for athletics, a branding campaign called Invest to Win. Please, this feels less like an investment strategy and more like a midlife crisis sponsored by student tuition. Imagine telling students, sorry your financial aid didn't get approved. We had to buy James Franklin a new office chair, LED lights, and an almost beat Ohio State commemorative plaque. This ain't invest to win. This is invest to pretend, invest to hope, invest to pray. The boosters don't check the receipts. People expect 5-star results with a 2-star budget, but this ain't it. Here's the part everyone keeps repeating online. If you want 5-star results, you need a 5-star budget. True, but the problem here is Virginia Tech just spent 5-star money on a man who's barely producing 3-star outcomes. This is like paying Michelin star prices for a cook who burns cereal. They said, let's compete with the big dogs, and then showed up with James Franklin holding the clipboard and a $229 million invoice. Good luck. The realest line of the day, more like pissing away money that could help people afford an education. Exactly. Because let's be honest, all this money isn't going to athletes, isn't going to students, isn't going to improve tuition costs, isn't helping housing, food programs, or academics. No, it's going to buyouts, coaches, facilities, new uniforms, fancy slogans, and of course, more buyouts in 3 years when this fails exactly how we all expect. If Invest to Win had truth in advertising laws, the slogan would be, invest to hope we get lucky, or invest to make ESPN talk about us for 48 hours. Virginia Tech fans deserve better than paying $229 million and ending up with James Franklin giving post-game speeches like, we're extremely close. I love our fight. We're building something. Sir, Penn State just paid you mansion money to build somewhere else. Virginia Tech didn't invest to win. They invested to gamble. And you know what happens at casinos? The house always wins. The customer always loses. And the next morning, reality hits like a truck. Virginia Tech is going to find out real quick. You can't buy championships. You can't buy culture. You can't buy momentum. And you definitely can't buy a coach into being something he's never been. James Franklin had elite talent at Penn State and still never cracked the ceiling. Now he's going to try it again in Blacksburg with less recruiting pull and way more expectations. Good luck, Hokies.